When observing Pakistani cuisine, it is safe to say that seafood does not hold as much importance or a position that it deserves. If you speak of fish to a Pakistani, they can only visualize one dish, that is fried fish. Breaking that custom, we will learn a unique recipe with the same humble fish. Kata Kat or Taka Tak is traditionally made of offal or organ meat. However, in the city of Karachi, Liaquatabad's fish Kata Kat is rather famous. Fish is consumed mostly during the winters in Pakistan. However, fish Kata Kat is sold all around the year. Let's take a look at the ingredients. Remember, fresh fish has a very delicate flavor, therefore we must use the dry spices cautiously. The ingredients for fish Kata Kat are as follows. Fresh green coriander is not a garnish but an essential element of this recipe. Turmeric will impart an appetizing tint to the dish and provide an overall depth of flavor. Turmeric and onions are the dominant flavor of this dish. Turmeric earthy tones will give this dish its base flavor to build upon. Commercially, the dish is prepared with red chili powder, but we will substitute that with black pepper as the flavor of black pepper and seafood marries well. Sliced onion will be used in the same proportion as the fish's weight. Using lesser quantities than advised will render the dish dry. After onions and turmeric, the second most prominent flavor would be that of green chilies. Caraway seeds have a very sharp flavor that complements the fish's umami flavor. If you can't find caraway seeds, you can substitute that with thyme. You may use salt to your taste, or you can refer to the YouTube description under this video where the recipe card is given. Commercially, this dish is made with mako shark meat. Mako is the fastest swimming shark in the world. As per Sunni fiqh, mako shark or magra is halal. Other fiqhs may refer to their scholars' opinion. Mako meat is oily and has a thick flesh fiber. It is an oily, flaky fish that cannot be easily overcooked. However, for this recipe, we are using grouper, which is a flaky fish in itself and appropriate for Kata Kat. I bought the fish I am using here for 70 rupees per kg. If you want to know how and where to buy the fish, you may look up my YouTube video on Karachi fisheries. You may find the link of that video at the end of this video. You can use any fish for Kata Kat, but a flaky flesh fish is preferable like red snapper, barramundi, grouper, etc. I have sprinkled some turmeric and salt over the fish before deep frying it. At this stage, it should not be cooked for over 3 minutes or 70% doneness. There is nothing worse than an overcooked fish. Cooking the fish at this point is to merely separate the meat from the bones. Let the fish rest until it reaches room temperature before you debone the fish. You will let the fish to cool down to room temperature, not just to save your hands, but for the fish to retain its juices so that the fish meat remains juicy. So please do not ignore this resting period. Commercially, Kata Kat is cooked on a large hot plate. You may use any wide mouth vessel here. We are using a wok. It is better to cook your fish in mustard oil as it gives the dish a richer flavor. From this point onwards, we will proceed to cook on the highest flame. Kata Kat is never cooked on low heat. Bring the oil to its smoking point and then add in the onions. Cook it for 1 minute on high heat. Make sure that your onions do not brown. We only have to saute them or sweat them. After the onions have sauteed, we will add in the green chilies and fry it for 30 seconds. We will then remove the wok from heat and add in the spices. If you add in the dried spices at this intense heat, they will burn instantly. So do make sure the wok is off the heat when you do that. You have to mix and cook the spices for 30 seconds and then add in the deboned, half done fish. You can now cook it on high flame for a minute. I have purposely not mashed up the fish's flesh, but have kept it a little lumpy, as it gives a better texture to the dish. After a minute on high heat, we will add in the lemon juice and the green coriander or parsley, and we will stir fry it for the final last minute on high heat and dish it out. Serve the fish Kata Kat with green chutney and chapati. If you think you have learned something new today, do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I have a separate channel where I do the same recipes but in Urdu. Link to that channel will be in the description below. Show your support by subscribing. Food Scientist signing off.